Here's a man who turned molasses into momentum, policy into progress. He is from IIT and Harvard. He put India firmly on the global bioeconomy and circular bioeconomy. He is a pioneer, a disruptor, an inventor, an innovator, and he is the ethanol man of India, Dr. Pramod Chaudhary of Praj. This is Sriraman, your host, and this is the Chini Mandi podcast. Sir, welcome to Chini Mandi podcast. This is Sriraman.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Sir, you were talking about circular, economy and bioeconomy and ethanol long before the world has caught on to it. And looking back at that early vision, what did you see that the world hadn't seen, and what gave you the conviction to, act on it, take a leap of faith on it?
See, the original link came from Brazil, all said and done. They embarked on ethanol journey in 73, oil shock. After that, they were there. In India, it took a little longer.
Right.
Read about the importance of climate change, especially from the Inconvenient Truth film of Al Gore. And that gave a lot of food for thought.
Right.
And then I could find out that the use of ethanol is going to be one of the solutions for heading for that. And that was perhaps the starting point for my thinking. So it was somewhere around mid-90s.
Right.
And then, of course, India was not yet fully ready, though some loose talk was there. We had a BJP government for a short while.
Correct. Yes.
And they coined the word called Swadeshi Indhan. And that will make India self-sufficient. So climate change pressures, self-sufficiency through Atmanirbharta, these couple of things put together gave me a very major push to think on those lines.
Right.
Praj was already existing, but it was not knowing for doing this work in this space. We decided to take a plunge into this area. Then, of course, rest is the history. Vinod Khosla came on the scene.
2006 that was.
Yeah. He gave help to us, but he was already there on the scene in 2003-04.
Okay.
And he liked it, what we were trying to do. So he gave us the encouragement.
How did that connection happen, sir? Pune-based engineering company, Silicon Valley-based Vinod Khosla.
Well, it's a coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah. And he got my reference from the gentleman called, he's no more now. And he ultimately had from Terry.
So, in fact, when he invested, or when the news came out in 2006, he said, I believe in next 25 years, ethanol will be a major driver of all the fuel. And I think it was two visionaries talking to each other, and it has come true. I mean, in 20 years, it has come true.
Yes, definitely. And now his own interest is reduced quite a lot.
Yeah. So talking of that, in the 40 years journey, the first 35 was very different. Of course, it had its great milestones. Khosla came as an investor, the company went public.
Tata.
Yes.
Ratan Tata invested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All were investing in Praj because of our foray into climate action.
Right. So that was all great milestone. However, the last 5 years has been something else. I mean, you have gone global. The recognition.
Sorry, we have been in global since beginning of 2000.
When I say global, the impact.
We did work in Colombia.
Right.
7 plants of fuel ethanol in Colombia. See, there were some loose actions were happening.
Right.
Because you realize only when India followed the policy. But worldwide, something was happening and we were present. UK's first fuel ethanol plant was built by us in 2007.
Okay.
So like that, things were happening in a piecemeal manner.
Right. But since 2019, it's been a big breakthrough in terms of...
You are referring to India all the time, sir.
But as a company, I'm saying...
Yeah, as a company, we got a major... Because we are an Indian company, we are located in India. So we got a major this thing. Yeah. But for example, the office where you are sitting, we started in 2014. The R&D center which you have not visited is working since 2008.
Right.
So like that, actions were happening. So if you want to take 19 as a reference, I have no problem.
No, I'm just curious, sir, because that was a major inflection point in terms of the company's growth and a lot of.
That's okay, but that's happening. It was supposed to happen. It happened on that day.
Okay.
All the stars came together and then things happened.
Like they say, 20 years, overnight success took only 20 years of hard work. In this case, it was 35 years of hard work. Because it looks like, oh, okay, suddenly there's a windfall, but there was 35 years of, seeding it, tilling the land, irrigating it.
Yeah, but as I said, we are having some successes in various corners of the world,
Right.
and these all foreign soil.
Yeah.
Like Thailand, we did a lot of projects in between. They all before 18 onward became an India story. But before that, we were there in practically 80, 90 countries in the world. Colombia, we did a program. Colombia's entire policy is based on our inputs.
Okay.
Yeah, so this part, very little people know that Prajas played a role.
How did that breakthrough happen? I mean, what was the trigger point for that?
Trigger point is that we had started operations in South America.
Okay.
And we had narrowed down our choice on Colombia. We had a choice between Colombia, Venezuela and Peru. So we decided to take a chance from Colombia.
Okay.
And that really worked out very well. Because Colombia, they have a surplus sugarcane. And they were importing oil.
Okay.
So this could offset that
Oil dependencies. Yeah.
oil. They could not, oil dependency can be reduced by use of ethanol.
Right.
That's how they could address that issue.
So talking of the growth in the sector, I mean, like you said, there were a few actions happening around the globe, but it's now inflection point globally where countries are doubling down on biofuels, and also some are pivoting towards an EV or hydrogen, right? So is there an identity crisis for what is bioenergy? Is it EV, hydrogen? Is it ethanol and biofuel? What exactly makes bio or non-fossil?
Putting too many things together, right, is a typical confusion of a common man. It should not be looked from that angle. See, EV is totally different. EV is to run a engine with the help of electric motor, and that's why there's a hybrid is happening where people are using fuel to produce electricity and then run the engine. In case of ethanol, you burn ethanol along with the fossil fuel. And solar is of course different. So there are a number of things are happening on the world stage. So that has given a good impetus to the whole efforts which we have been putting in. And I am happy that there is a cognizance of this. In India especially, they took a lot of efforts to build on bioeconomy. Right. Actually, bioeconomy is the term coined by Praj.
Yes.
It was bioeconomy is top, biofuels.
Yes.
Or biomobility we call it.
Yes. Bioprism.
But bioeconomy is a common word which was coined by Praj, because it's engulfing the entire ecosystem.
Right.
Right from feedstock to technology.
FTP, yeah.
FTP, you know that FTP model is what we have been pursuing, and that really helped us.
Right. So in this case of I also read your ET article or the ET interview on is EV really a sustainable practice where a country is still using lignite and coal for power and things like that. So like I said, what is a good identity for biofuel? Is it and also there's hydrogen in the mix.
Hydrogen is still not happening anyway. It's just being talked about.
Right.
So hydrogen is a little away from down the road.
It's still the theory. Yeah. Okay. So who's the hero of biofuels in that case?
Biofuel, just now hero is ethanol.
Okay.
So I think that goes clearly, is a clear winner into the whole game. There are two reasons for that. One is of course it's a renewable source, agri-based, and like Gadkari Sahab calls it, Urja Data, Annadata to Urja Data. So it helps the farming community and helps the community overall. So I think it's a good development.
Also, globally there are multiple policies around it. Even if you look at India, the sugar goes on and off, for example, in terms of using it as a feedstock, and also this urgency on climate. So How does the momentum not lose steam? Because there is a food versus fuel debate. There is policy changing all the time. Globally different identity given to bioeconomy, right? So what is a good practice so that the whole correct way of doing bioeconomy, pursuing bioeconomy doesn't lose steam?
See, different feedstocks
Right.
which will not come in the way of food versus fuel debate. So that is one requirement. The second thing is that it should be net energy gain.
Right.
Well, you put a lot of energy, then it's not helping climate change. That's why energy gain should be,
The ratio between input and the
output energy has to be much higher than the input energy. So that's the second parameter. And the third parameter is that all co-product valorization, that plays a very important role. If you see that this bio feedstocks, they got a possibility of creating a lot of co-products.
Right.
And those co-products can help improve the economy of the process.
And through the value chain, right? At the farmer, at the production miller, at the CBG level, and
At the waste level, yeah,
Waste level.
waste to wealth.
waste to wealth, yeah.
And whether it is from starch or it is from sugarcane or any other source, everywhere there is a possibility of creating that valorization approach for the co-products.
How are we doing it in the world? Is the world prepared, or how much prepared?
Yes, the people are, for example, now world pockets are defined for biofuel, like USA is mainly for maize.
Right. Corn and the corn. Dent corn, yeah.
Other places, some places it is sugarcane based, some places no, it is both.
Yeah.
In Thailand it is cassava. Like that, variety of feedstocks are being deployed for such purposes.
What about I think you are an expert in starch-based extraction also, right? So, what about non-sugar based? What other starchy?
I think the cassava is one thing, maize, corn,
But from an Indian point of view,
wheat, rice. India rice is caught up very well in India. Surplus broken rice. All these things are there.
that wouldn't touch the food fuel sufficiency debate as such. Talking about the Global Biofuel Alliance, I think that came as a result of the G20, and India is leading it. From your vantage point, what do you think? Should India just pursue it or take the what do you call it?
Pole position India is taking in that way, because the Indian history of introduction of biofuels is well accepted, well thought of, and it is really improved the consumption has gone down for the fossil fuels, and that has given the confidence to the Indian government or the responsible authorities or government agencies to think on those lines.
Right.
It can be a new economy or new relationship can be
Forged on this, yeah. But how do you think India can shape the narrative on a global level? One is we doing well, and we becoming, the goals of Vikshit Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat, being reducing the carbon dependency, fossil dependency, all that. But it's called the Global Biofuel Alliance. So how do we, shape the narrative?
See, the narrative is, we tried it in IEW, I don't know if you were there that day,
I wasn't, okay.
After G20.
Right.
And see, there are some developing countries, there are some island nations.
Right.
Say, let's take case of Mauritius, for example. They are having a little bit of sugar industry, but they are not given so much of importance to the
Co-generation of any sort.
biofuels. See, if you talk about cogeneration, it goes to bagasse burning and all that. So let's not talk about that.
Right.
Biofuel, or you can talk about monetization or commercialization of other aspects. But then Mauritius could be for either island country or Madagascar for that matter. Many of these African countries, or you talk about Sri Lanka.
Yes, yes.
So many of these countries will be game for such kind of adoption. And India can give them technology, they can guide them. It has to also be connected with the crop growing. So crops has to be grown in that manner.
Right.
So I think it will also become very important from that point of view.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. So alliance bring promising, what do you call, situations, but also challenges again, right? So do you think we have what it takes to address all the challenges, be it infrastructure, competing technologies, politics? Because we have taken a pole position, right, in this. So, what are the logical next steps in terms of handling challenges that might come?
See, the ecosystem has to move in simultaneously. Like we have been involved, and luckily the government is consulting us because of the position which we have achieved in that within India also. So for that purpose, we advise the various agencies, associations outside India, what kind of the growth pattern of crops. Like, for example, I'll give one more thing. Sweet sorghum is another crop which we are trying. We have signed so many MOUs, VSI,
Okay.
Sugar Institute, Vasanthala. We are trying to have intercropping of sweet sorghum with cane.
Okay.
This is one small example.
Right.
Or the government recent policy, the same plant can produce from starch and from molasses. I'm sure you are aware of that.
Yes.
Just last month.
Yes.
All those things we are already there.
Okay.
We have achieved that this dual root, we call it dual root plant. Multi-feed, multi-product.
Right. And we also have to teach this to the other people.
We've got a lot of things to share with the foreigners and who are not given that kind of attention so far. So I think it's a very win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, I can almost relate. In fact, during the G20, our digital payments technology, UPI, has been exported as such to many countries. I think in the similar way, our knowledge of
Knowledge and experience.
of
Proven experience. We can take them, show them the plants, different. See, this US, for example, is a corn-based economy, corn-based biofuel. The huge capacity plants. India can't afford that kind of capacity of the plants. Very few will come in that direction. So we have to have an affordable model. So affordability is another important aspect, underlining aspect. That it become affordable. And that is the example which we are setting up in variety of, you have a valorization of the co-products like that.
Sir, when you say affordable, does the size become small? Then the scale becomes small.
That's the general theory that when the size becomes small, it becomes more expensive. So we have established that it's not so.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more? That's
It's basically designs.
Right.
The designs are such that it needs not necessarily become cheap. Bigger the capacity, it doesn't require that kind of a thing.
Okay.
Moderate capacity, it can still give the same benefit of economy. And that's what we have proven.
Noted.
Secondly, the way we execute the whole thing. For example, now we are able to establish an ethanol plant on skid.
Right.
So that it becomes very easy to assemble, disassemble, shipping of the plant. It's all easily possible.
So the one you're referring to, is it the IOCL one? Or?
No. These are the mechanism of execution of small plants I'm talking about. IOCL is a second generation plant.
Okay.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the first generation ethanol plant based on a different model of execution.
So talking of 1G, 2G, how much 2G adoption has happened in the country?
2G adoption is still not happened big way because we are still having some teething problem going on. The 2G is basically oil companies are being instructed to experiment with that, and they are my customer today. So 3 projects are coming up. World over 2G, there is a lot of interest, but 2G is having a lot of inbuilt limitations, and those limitations come from the front end material handling part of it. It's nothing with the process, it's a material handling.
Okay.
So that's what we are trying to attack and sort it out. So let's see, by this year end we should have a what we call idiot proof performance.
Yeah, because in 1G the energy ratio that we were talking about, right? Input energy can't be more than the output energy.
No. So 1G is there is the output energy is higher, but still it is not so dramatically higher. Whereas in 2G, the 1G, 2G, the raw material is of no commercial value as such, and that's where you create a ethanol.
Much more valuable, right? There is already a theory on 3G, like more algae based.
No, there are many. Gs you can attach anywhere, and you get 4G, 5G. But 1G and 2G are reality. 1G is the conventional molasses, starch, and all that. 2G is something to do with the biomass waste.
Sir, beyond the ethanol, let's talk about all the other bio solutions, whether it is SAF, biohydrogen, bioplastics, right? So you have the whole program, right? Biomobility, BioPrism, the FTP in between. How do you see India shaping up overall beyond ethanol?
I think it's bound to happen. Like SAF is being talked about. SAF is aviation fuel. We have a pilot, and we have got with technology development with the pilot plant, demo plant.
That the flight from Pune to Delhi, yes, yeah.
So that's the way our approach is always. Talk less, prove it.
I have a further question on that, but overall, as a country beyond ethanol, where all do you see? I mean, industries.
The bioprism is all biochemicals, biopolymers, because they are also creating climate pressures. You know, at the bottom of the sea, they say there's so much of plastic is lying. It's not getting degraded. It has got very long life. So these biopolymers will help you to get them degraded faster and easier than the other things. So that's the big opportunity coming up. We have to again make it affordable.
Right. So is it in theory right now, or
there is a demo plant there in Jejuri where we are making lactic acid, which is the best platform for PLA, or what we call as the biopolymers.
Right. So, but the industry adoption as such,
it will take some time.
it will take some time.
Because, sir, what happens in this kind of new products, nobody wants to be the first one. So the government has to encourage by giving
Policy level intervention, yeah. Even SAF, I mean, there is no clear policy yet on it. But are we ready to produce SAF at scale?
Yes, at scale also, no problem. Again, the plant is required, that's all. So somebody has to put the machinery, investment in machinery. Technology is proven. So machinery, so mostly oil companies will do that.
So how do we move from symbolic to a systemic? What you proved is great. It's a milestone. You have shown that, like you said, talk less, show more. So you have done that. How does it become,
achieve more? Yeah.
achieve more? How does it become much bigger reality? Because again, there are speeches around, the government speeches around, we will increase it to more than 50% in next 30 years. I mean, we haven't gotten with one yet. So what steps has to be taken to even get that 1%?
In SAF, that portion is going to be this carbon tax which is being charged, or the mandate which European flying machines or European airlines are causing. So that's how the things will happen. So, Samad Amad Andabhed, something like that.
Okay. Okay, sir. In terms of your partnership with Gevo for this, what are the value exchanges that both saw in terms of making this happen?
See, Gevo is senior in this space, whereas they respect our capability on the ethanol side, which is a starting feedstock. And then our capability to convert those into design or skid mounted plants, and that's what they respect. So it's
ATJ, the whole ATJ, Alcohol to Jet, A1, yeah.
But putting that whole thing into a framework of a skid mounted, I think they respect that part.
Sir, is there a difference between doing the same thing in the US versus doing the same thing in India?
Yeah, that's why this advantage we are passing on. No? In India, all said and done, the costing wise is more attractive. Labor charges wise and engine charges and all that. But if you make the whole thing on the skid in India and ship the skid, you get best of both the worlds.
Perfect. Okay.
That's what is really catching up.
So that's the value exchange.
Yes, yes.
Sir, talking about sustainability and circular economy, there's a lot of importance on sustainability. A lot of SDGs around sustainability and circular economy. But are we solving one problem, let's say energy, by potentially or likely creating another in terms of food, right? The whole food versus fuel.
That is the old argument. Now it is no more valid. Okay. But if you still want to have my answer on this, I think it's a established fact that the use of certain feedstocks, maybe edible, non-edible, there's surplus feedstock available everywhere. And that getting diverted for fuel is really not going to cause any sustainability issue.
Also, feedstock that are grown in marginal land or feedstock that are again starch based may not even be a food product, right? It could be press mud.
See, you have to have industrial use, and that's what is being pursued. and I think it will not come in the way of sustainability. Yeah, this is my personal belief, and I think more or less the world is also accepting that part.
No, I agree to you. I'm just curious because what other, this debate should have some leg. I'm not in the side of taking the food fuel debate. I'm in the side of sufficiency. But this is not the first time this is happening because
No, but slowly it is reducing the importance. The arguments are becoming blunt now. Yeah,
by itself.
yeah.
Because about 100 years ago, people said the amount of farming that we have, if our population grow, we all will starve. So this happened. Sometime about 70 years ago, before nitrogen-based fertilizers were a reality or much more common, they said the whole world will suffer. Or this is same as, the New York streets used to be filled with horse manure before the car. People said in 8 years, the New York all the streets will be filled with 4 to 8 foot of horse manure because of so many horses will increase. And then one day the entire horse-driven as a transportation was, wiped out, and we no longer have any.
Absolutely. I think that's
horse
good.
manure on the road.
That's a positive cup of tea I think you had.
Yeah. So this, maybe we will have better technology that will, like I said, it may not even be food grains that go into feedstock, right? Like all the science that you have proven with cellulose based. So what else do you think could end this debate forever? That's what I wanted to know.
Very hypothetical, just so there's no debate going on anywhere unless you come across some recently. I don't know, not to my knowledge. We have not seen this debate happening now.
No, out of curiosity, not to satisfy anybody's policy and politics. This is out of science curiosity, knowledge curiosity.
See, there's one very important thing. For your future generation, you're doing all these things.
Right.
Very nice thought. You have borrowed the world, planet from your future generations, and you have to return them without any damage.
Give it to them better than the day.
Yeah. So this is the issue of sustainability from that point of view. If you look at the larger picture, for your grandchildren, all that, this is being very important.
So, but all this being true, we do see, like for example, with sugar on and off, right? It becomes a feedstock, it doesn't become a feedstock on and off. Sometimes we have seen this. So, what goes
Sugar,
on?
I am not. You are expert on sugar. I am not.
Okay. But do you think any other feedstock might go through the similar on-off? Because why I'm asking it is, if people are investing a substantial amount in installing a production capacity, and then the feedstocks are constantly changing.
That's why this multi-feed, multi-product is the solution. That's what Praj is proud of. Even Brazil today is looking at starch as a feedstock. Brazil, which is the Mecca of sugarcane.
Right. Okay, so hypothetically, somebody is not your customer, has unfortunately invested in a single feedstock process, right? So, do you think it impacts them?
Yes, and that's why we offer a solution to convert the plant into multi-feed also.
Okay, you can retrofit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Retrofit.
So we have got separate department looking into this applied technology.
Are these the same problems that's also stopping them from moving to 1G to 2G? Like,
no, that is 1G, 2G is a different issue altogether. 2G is more expensive still today. It's not, whereas 1G is all well established in terms of viability and all those things. It's not so expensive.
right. So, two separate problems.
2G is not become a run of the thing, or is not known to the people feel it's a very complex technology still.
Sir, I'm sure you will solve the technology part, because from a business owner point of view, it's the capex, opex that they are looking at.
Correct. Yes, sir, but the complexity of the technology also plays an important role. Complexity.
But you are there to support.
No, correct. So 2G complexity is still not become
commonplace to handle. But you also have O&M for that, right? So
yeah, correct. But sir, it costs money, and and there's no differential pricing.
Right.
There's no differential pricing, so it has to stand the test of the time in terms of pricing. So over a period of time, the cost will come down.
Of course.
Because it also gives you a low CI. I will not touch upon that subject. Right. Carbon intensity is a very important parameter.
True.
And we are saying that carbon intensity should be given due weightage. CI, that is carbon intensity, is very important aspect. We are still not putting the value to carbon intensity, at least in India or nearby countries, for ethanol which is manufactured with low carbon. USA is just looking at low carbon ethanol as one of the possibilities. We are doing some work there, and that will bring down the carbon contents of the process,
Right.
and that will become one of the this thing pricing factor.
So again, it all ties down to the SDG, and it's a everything adds up.
Low carbon ethanol is the buzzword now, and low carbon ethanol where you go for carbon calculation from field to
The end utilization.
yeah.
Sir, again, you have been pushing the envelope, but I don't think people have not even moved to ethanol, let alone CI content of ethanol, right? So
In India, you know,
generally.
no, in USA started now.
Right.
The dialogue or the things that started there.
Okay. And I mean,
So one of the agenda for Biofuel Alliance will be that also. How do you decide on the? Have you understood it? What I'm saying?
yes.
Carbon ethanol will CI intensity will get a prominence.
Right.
However low carbon, that will be more preferred.
And that will, if the whole world is focused on sustainability, then low.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, for SAF also, they're saying low carbon is very important.
Sir, moving on. India's ethanol roadmap, very rare thing to see something in a public policy has been ahead of schedule, thanks to every player, right? So, what do you think is the next step? What do you think we should do in terms of keeping this momentum?
The CI issue should be brought on the face so that Indian ethanol with low carbon will get a prominence and become further light for the other countries and all that.
So, how would a typical, let's say, a 1G producer of ethanol?
We are suggesting, why don't you put labeling for carbon intensity
Okay.
based on the process, feedstock, and all those things.
Right from the start to end. Right.
Absolutely, from the farm to fuel.
So, what steps should a producer take today to keep reducing?
It will be a policy to facilitate this.
Okay.
If there's no incentive, nobody will do anything.
Okay. So, would price be an incentive?
Oh, yeah, realization,
Right.
returns on the.
And then at a subsidy level?
Yeah.
Also, what about the skilling needed for all of this?
I mean, that's taking the natural course.
Right.
When there's a demand, people do, yeah.
The rest will fit
But
itself.
coming back to my earlier comment on carbon, what kind of a pump you're using for the irrigation? Now, solar pumps will bring down the carbon intensity, like that. Or you go for drip irrigation, the water usage will come down.
Right.
I'm sure you're covering in your thing various places.
We do, yes.
So indirect land use. So all those things are be short cycle crop. All those things will become very, very important going forward.
And do you think with so much, will be reaching our target in ethanol and so on, are we ready to use it in all the other industries?
What is the other industry?
Food and beverage, cement, cosmetics.
No, they will use for what purpose? As a fuel?
No, not as a fuel. The ethanol as a input needed for.
No. See, ethanol has got other bad name is drinking.
Yes.
Alcohol. So that will come in the way, because those policies are a little dicey. So I don't think it will be easily. Your cough syrup also uses alcohol.
Right.
So it's known all these umpteen years, 1,000 years that they have been using.
No, even a xylene, toluene replacement for all these.
Alcohol-based chemicals. They are called alcohol-based chemicals. Yes, that is again having like polymers. So the polymers can be made to one directly by fermenting the feedstock or by converting alcohol into alcohol derivatives.
Right.
So alcohol derivatives got definitely a scope for it.
Yeah, so is India ready for it in terms of.
It was there in India using it. Now again it's having a second cycle for the alcohol derivatives. There are many old plants are there for like Polychem was there, which is alcohol derivative near Neera, Pulton. So like that, or Kolhapur sugar.
Right.
They were making alcohol derivatives.
So I'm hypothetically again, just like high pure, would there be like a high pure alcohol as a big business?
No, that is already there. That is for high pure is for fuel purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Or drinking purpose.
Yeah. The nutraceuticals, pharma, and yeah.
That's it, they're using it already. But alcohol-based derivatives is a new thing which will happen more and more. And these derivatives have to be for industrial use. See, the scale goes along with the industrial use, all said and done, or mass scale.
Right.
So that those things have to be identified and connected with. That will give a push to the production capacities and all that.
So talking of specifically ethanol, what are some things that every sugar mill in India should be doing, but only few are doing correctly? What should be something everybody should do?
I mean, converting that molasses to ethanol, or government has really put a lot of softs on that area. You have a juice, syrup. Now Praj introduced, we call it a bio syrup,
Right.
which can be stored longer time. And syrup can be utilized in off season. So like that, the variety of things which you are doing it to having understood the importance of life cycle for syrup. I think these are the few things. And if there is a provision for storage and all that thing by many industries, sugar industries, it will definitely become a availability around the year. And then it can increase the use of these things, syrup conversion to ethanol or any derivative.
Any other global insights on, globally you operate around the world. Some of the sugar mills globally are doing a very good job in this that we also can
Adopt, yeah. So in byproducts or in the main product?
both. Not sugar, the byproducts, the bioenergy, CBG and so on.
I think India is quite ahead of others in that case. Yeah, I am proud of that.
Nice, okay.
Definitely, but they look to us for
The best practices.
practices and this thing.
Good to know, sir. So, talking about our Praj Gen X and the future of it, right? What was the trigger point for it? What was the thought process of setting it up?
Praj Gen X is a Praj's capability in area of understanding the climate, climate issues, climate challenges. So we call it a energy transition and climate action.
Right.
So energy transition is one is ethanol in case of fossil fuels, and there is another energy transition happening at a variety of levels. Like hydrogen is coming.
Right.
Now hydrogen through electrolytic route is the energy transition.
Right.
So for that you require some machinery, and our idea of manufacturing of big machinery and putting it on the skid has been fairly accepted or well understood.
So, how is that rocket taking off? Or it's
Yes, we have put a very big facility near Mangalore, and that will be churning out more and more jobs. We have done this skid mounted job for Australia in the past. For all these developed countries, the cost of fabrication at the site is very high. And to make it more affordable, these are the ideas which we are using it.
So you will have a prefab setup that can be easily assembled
Yeah.
for inland, right?
The cost of erection is very high there.
So yeah, green hydrogen, CCUS, modular plants, all this is like a engineering-led moonshot or a big bet, right? So
Praj is basically engine company, and all this expertise, one is the process side, other is the design side.
right.
And the design energy engineering is leverage. Process is from a matrix R&D, we perfect the process, introduce new bugs and yeast and all that, and engineering side is keep putting that into
The harmony between the matrix, the R&D and the
deployment of the engineering thing is engineering basically.
right. So again, talking of emerging moonshot like this, carbon capture, utilization, storage, how are we doing as a country? I mean, should we?
No, I don't see. Carbon capture is a well understood process. More clumsy, you have to put the carbon inside the earth.
Ground,
Yeah, so
aquifers and
it's not so exciting.
okay. But is it promising from a?
It will help. It's all these efforts, all these efforts. See, ultimately, you are taking out the carbon and putting it there.
Yeah, the cement industry can use it, other industries can use it, right? But your focus is on the hydrogen and the
No, our focus is on the process side.
process side.
Different processes, different bugs, different this thing. And that is our major target. So you develop a process which will be faster and can give you desired results.
Got it.
If you want to do some better bugs and all that, we are more focusing on that.
So, if you have to say something to the global policymaker in terms of bioenergy, bio-circular economy, what would it be? To all stakeholders in general.
So they should take serious cognizance of this,
Okay.
and support efforts or R&D in this space. I think India is bound to benefit out of such kind of actions. We got adequate diversities there in the flora, fauna, and that can be leveraged to benefit of the mankind. This is my strong belief.
Right. Anything in terms of collaboration?
Yeah, definitely we are looking at many such things. We are now negotiating with discussing about a joint R&D institute,
Okay.
foreign institute. Then we already got Center of Excellence with various academia in India. We got one for biopolymer with ICT
Right.
in Mumbai. You know that.
Yes.
Earlier it was called UDCT. Then
You also have a Finland-based, all the R&D tie-ups, there are multiple.
many, but now that's why this institute which I am talking, they are Indian institutes mostly. There's one in VSI.
Right.
We are just expert in crops.
Okay.
We have a tie-up for crop excellence in crops, and one I told you with ICT for biopolymers.
Right.
Then one we are putting a center of excellence at University of Pune. So many things are in the offing, and some of them are already operating.
So all this will be the Gen X agenda or
No, this is a Praj agenda.
Raj agenda?
Gen X is mostly on fabrication side,
Right.
but this is a bio.
Corporate agenda, right? As a company level, right?
So we expect that there will be a lot of new innovations will happen. Innovation is the hallmark of Praj's backbone.
It has been, no doubt. Nobody is questioning that. Nobody is challenging that.
You don't want it to go down or slow down, but to keep it live.
Yeah. My best wishes and sincere hope for that.
Thank you very much.
Sir, I just have a few more rapid fire style questions. You can give like a 1 word, 2 word answer for it.
Sure.
First word that comes to your mind when I say ethanol.
Praj.
Okay. One biofuel myth you expect the world will stop using.
No, they are talking about energy equations for biofuel, which is a kind of a thing, which is a myth and is a false propaganda also.
What should it be?
It should not be. It should be embraced with open arms. That biofuel is a solution for climate action. For climate action, it is a very important solution.
A global leader or a country you admire in clean energy, green energy.
There are a variety of things are happening. Like Netherlands goes for windmills and all those things. So there are different parts of the world. There are a lot of wind. North Sea is providing a lot of wind flows and all that. So now windmill is a very common thing there. Like that, many clean energy solutions.
Okay. Any favorite book? Or reading material of? I see a Chanakya outside your cabin. So any favorite reading?
No, I mean there are some like biodigest is there. So those things we keep on referring, reading. But now at this slowly I am focusing on internal this thing and not the external this thing.
Sir, strange question, but please bear with me. If not bioenergy, where else would you be?
Automobile.
Okay.
That's where I always believed, and these are quite complementary to each other. I'm basically a mechanical engineer, work in the automobile industry for some time.
Yes. Bajaj and
Bajaj Tempo, yeah, in the first motor today.
Right.
And I always believe that's another very exciting. The speed coming out of automobile is very important.
Excellent, sir. Thank you so much. We wish Praj a great success in its innovative DNA, the inventor DNA, the disruptor DNA, and a true believer in global circular economy and bioeconomy. Thank you, sir. It's a wonderful conversation with you.
Thank you for your visit, and we need Chini Mandi's support, backup
It's always with you, sir.
in taking this subject forward.
Likewise, and we want your mentorship and the continued blessing.
And yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.